Welcome to another episode of Untold Legends Lore, Resident Evil The Files, where I explore the smaller side stories that make up the larger Resident Evil universe, found within the in-game notes and diaries left behind. Today's video will be about one of the most important figures in Resident Evil history, and yet one of the least known, and least talked about, George Trevor, the architect that was hired to build the mysterious Spencer Mansion in the middle of the Arclay Forest. To understand his importance to the series, it's important to understand his backstory. Originally, he was an architect based in New York, well known for his construction work that toyed with the idea of secret passages and trap puzzles, heavily inspired by the architecture of Eastern European castles and keeps, a subject that he once wrote a book about. At some point, he started a construction company known as Trevor and Chamberlain that continued operating past his death. It was even the one responsible for refurbishing the Baker family's main house in Dulvey, Louisiana. George Trevor's unique legacy continued inspiring strange construction practices that Umbrella adopted into other facilities of theirs, including the mansion built on their Antarctic base and the Queen Zenobia cruise liner. But for all of George Trevor's accomplishments, his family's story ended up being one of the most tragic in the series. Co-founder of Umbrella, Oswald Spencer, contracted him in 1962 to build the elaborate Spencer Mansion. George Trevor designed it using his own ideas, mixed with influence from Spencer's old family home in Europe. George Trevor, his wife Jessica, and young daughter Lisa were invited to stay in the Spencer estate once it was completed. Jessica and Lisa were sent ahead of George's arrival, but when he arrived, they were already gone. Spencer claimed that they suddenly left in a hurry, using a sick aunt as cover. But secretly, Jessica and Lisa were taken by Umbrella and experimented on with the progenitor virus. Jessica was disposed of, and Lisa eventually became a mutated creature, destined to stalk the S.T.A.R.S members throughout the property until the mansion's destruction. On November 21st, 1967, George Trevor was observing paintings inside the mansion with Spencer when he was knocked unconscious and locked in a room. George Trevor's ultimate fate was documented in Trevor's diary, the account left behind chronicling his final days trying to escape the mansion with his life. It was exclusively available in the Resident Evil 1 remake, and was found in 3 separate parts. The first chapter is found on the floor next to the statue, inside the hidden area of the mansion first floor bar. The second chapter is on a display bench inside the mansion's large art room on the first floor. And the final chapter is located on a small gravestone at the end of the mansion first floor's secret passage. Trevor's diary reads as follows. November 24th, 1967. 11 days have passed since arriving on this estate. How did I end up like this? The guy in a lab coat came with a plate of a skimpy meal and said to me, "Sorry to put you through this, but it's for security reasons." That's when it hit me. It all makes sense now. There's only 2 people that know the secrets of this mansion, Sir Spencer and myself. If they kill me, Sir Spencer will be the only person that knows the secret. But for what purpose? Doesn't matter now. It's too dangerous here. My family, I hope they're alright. I've decided to escape. Jessica, Lisa, I pray you're safe. November 26th, 1967. How could I be so careless? I lost my favorite lighter. The one Jessica gave me for my birthday. Now it's going to be that much harder to get out of this dark place. November 13th was the date when my fate was sealed. My aunt was hospitalized just 3 days before that. Jessica and Lisa said they were going to visit her. I wish I could be there with them. But wait, even as I'm writing, my memories coming back to me more vividly. Just before I passed out, I remember the men in lab coats said something like, "Most likely your family's already..." I pray for their safety. November 27th, 1967. Somehow I managed to get out of that room, but getting out of this mansion won't be easy, as I have to get past all the booby traps, tiger eyes, gold emblem. I have to try and remember for my own sake. November 29th, 1967. I can't get out. I've tried every possible way to escape, but only to be faced with the reality that I'm trapped. I've been everywhere. The laboratory with the large glass tubes filled with formaldehyde, and those dark, wet and eerie caves. What can I do? At first, I didn't want to believe my eyes, but that familiar high-heeled shoe in the corridor, it was like reflex. One name came to my mind. Jessica. I don't want to believe they share the same fate as me. No, I can't give up hope. I have to hope they're alive. November 30th, 1967. I haven't had anything to eat or drink for the past few days. I feel like I'm going crazy. Why is this happening to me? Why do I have to die like this? I was too obsessed with designing this ghastly mansion. I should have known better. November 31st, 1967. It was a dark and damp underground tunnel and another dead end. But even in the darkness, something caught my eye. Carefully, I lit the last match I had to see what it was. A grave. But deeply engraved into the stone was my name, George Trevor. At that instant, it all became clear to me. Those bastards knew from the beginning that I'd die here, and I fell right into their trap. But it's too late now. I'm losing it. Everything's becoming so far away. Jessica, Lisa, forgive me. Because of my ego, I got both of you involved in this whole damn conspiracy. Forgive me. May God justify my death in exchange for your safety. George Trevor. And that is the end of George Trevor's diary. Although he did leave some crumpled notes behind with clues for future travelers, he never escaped the mansion alive. His body lost forever somewhere in the Spencer estate.